My room has a weird smell.
Your room has a weird smell?
It ain't for me.
Wow. Oh yeah, y'all. For those that smoke weed and everything else, man, y'all go to them expensive hotels, them expensive rooms, man. Open your window, blow that shit out. Get a wet towel, put it up under the door, man. And that sensor in the room, it lets them know if you smoking. So if you get a non-smoking room, they will hit you with that $250 incidental smoking fee.
$250.
Yeah. So, if you don't know about it, man, you'll learn about it. Yeah. Yep, you be sitting up there like, man, I wasn't even smoking. You're like, sir, yes you was. Man, I wasn't even, man, you gotta spray hella fucking Febreze and it ain't hella shit. It ain't worth it. If you gonna get a room, get a smoking. Why you get a non-smoking and then you gonna go smoke in there? Shit, the police gonna look for the room anyway if you get a non-smoking.
Most of those hotels with the like the more upscale ones now, man, they making them all non-smoking. Certain states is more liberal, but man, I know like in DC downtown, man, please getting a smoking hotel very hard. I mean, it's rare you can get a couple, but majority of them are non-smoking.
Right. Well, I mean,
Which don't bother me because I don't smoke, but some people.
Well, I don't smoke my damn self.
It's like 2 feet of snow, and my homie Goldie was outside trying to get his Newport in. Cold.
trying to get Newport, trying to get that smoke nicking, huh?
He was trying to get it in, man. He had his clean white shirt on, man. Just like, I'm gonna step outside and do this cigarette. No, I'm not. I'm going back upstairs to get my fur. Huh. He said his perm froze.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that shit just, man. No. Them cigarette smokes, man. I mean, I don't fuck with none of that shit, man. I don't fuck with none of that shit, man. I mean, but if I do got a bitch that do it, I'll be like, hey, but if I got my car, like, I don't want nobody smoking in my car. Like, people always be rolling weed. They be like, I don't be letting nobody smoke in my car. It make your shit stink, smell, your windows. You be at early in the morning finna go on a call and your windows inside is hella moist and misty. You be like, damn, what is it? Cigarette or weed smoke? And your shit be hella fucking cloudy. And then when you go to the detail shop and have them hit your windows, they can't clean that shit all the way. You be sitting up there stuck like a motherfucker. Like, man, what the fuck?
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
That shit is nasty. I ain't talking about y'all that smoking, but I'm talking about that shit is nasty. I mean, you go holler at a bitch and you got cologne on and you're smelling like menthol. Newports, Cools. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
And I don't even smoke, yo. My clothes be stinking, man.
Check this out. My mom and daddy are Trentons. When I go to the house, oh my God, I hate going up in there and then they want a hot box. Boy, close the window. It's cold in here. It ain't cold. Try to open up the back door and everything. Like, come on, mom. Come on, daddy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man. So.
Yeah, the non-smokers versus the smokers, man. We be getting into it all the time.
Yeah, I already know about that one. I already know it. As soon as they get in your car, they want to hurry up, pull the pack out. Oh, man, I can't smoke in here? Ugh, man, I can't smoke it. No, you can't. No, you can't. They get mad like a motherfucker, boy. Hell yeah, shit.
Oh, your car too good for me?
Yeah, you motherfucking right. I don't want no cherry burns on the seat. None of that shit. I don't want none of that shit, man. That shit bring the value of my car down. For real. You know, shit. This is an investment. Driving a car, putting miles on it. I mean, you put miles on it, you're taking away, but you're trying to keep the pristine, you know, the look of it. So you want that shit to look real good. You don't want to be fucking up, you know, man. But oh man, just you know, yeah. Pull the car over, shit. Man,
Mr. B said, if you spend $4,000 to $5,000 on cigarettes a year, let's use that for health insurance.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Man, look, Courtney or whatever the fuck that bitch name wanna be. That bitch, she smoked like a motherfucker. She smoked Newport. Not Newport. She smoked Marlboro menthols. I forgot which one it is. Marlboro something. And this bitch like, oh, I smoke them because they minty. And I'm like, bitch, that shit stank. I took that bitch to a motherfucking alcohol. This bitch get out the car. She got long ass hair down to her ass. She got out the car. Bitch, go in the car. No, I need to smoke. I gotta hurry up. I gotta smoke. She smoked a cigarette, went in there, fucked the dude, came back. I got to the house. As soon as I put the computer on, went to Redbook. When I went to Redbook, I just, you know, I always check to see if anybody posted any, reviews or something. The dude he posted a review talking about it was like fucking an ashtray but wetter. So, wow. You know, yeah, you know, that's the business, you know. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. And it ain't, and I don't fuck with it. Hey, come close that door. Yeah, man. So, you know. So, but other than that, man, yeah, it's bad for business. I don't know, man. What topic you want to get into? Yeah. What topic you want to get into, though?
I reckon you pushed that call out to see what's alarmed yet or no?
Oh, you know what? Let me see. Hold on. Give me I'm gonna do it within 5 minutes. I'm gonna.
Where's Gage at?
He back out in AZ. Yeah, he at the house. You know. He want me to go out there. I just don't feel like riding no horses, you know. You know, man got acres of land, dog, and illegal aliens be running through the property and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah. So
what horse is that? Strawberry that turns the water on herself?
No, that's Spike. Spike is the one that go turn the water on. Yeah. That's the boy.
Don't know how to turn it off.
Don't know how to turn it off. Yeah, Strawberry is the big Clydesdale.
Y'all family, y'all have an animal that can do that.
Man, no. Dog, the dog knock at the door. The dog opens the door, close the door, go get whatever the fuck he tells Muggsy to go get. I think the only thing that dog can't go get is a certain wrench. That dog go get whatever the fuck you want. Go get my clip off the table, boy. That dog go run. Come back, you got a clip with 17 bullets in his mouth. Like, what the fuck? Nigga, how the fuck this motherfucking dog? Nigga, what the hell? How you, man? Dog. Man, his blue nose made it with my blue nose, and I had the mama name was Afeni. So she had two puppies. One survived. I named him Tupac. Dog, I was training that motherfucker to do hella fucking shit. Them dogs are smart as fuck. Man, I mean, just smart. Smart, man. Smart. Yeah. Miss that dog. Yep. I miss my motherfucking dog, man. Shit. But, yeah, I wanna, let's see, what can we talk about, man? What can we talk about? Man, what y'all want to
Man, the
talk about,
question
man?
is more like, what can't we talk about?
Well, I can talk about anything, shit.
Of course.
Yeah, you don't, yeah, you like,
Yeah, we know how you do it, man.
yeah. I mean, shit. I just push it to the limit.
Hey,
man.
have you ever used that I don't even know if I should put this out there. When we talking about sites, Humaniplex.
Have I ever used it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Humaniplex. Humaniplex, if you're on the West Coast, the Humaniplex and Redbook are the two websites, social escort websites that's real good. Well, Redbook is actually for the tricks, but let the hoes post up on there for free, and they give them good reviews and they talk about them and everything else, and they get to meet the people that got the most postings, and then they have their little mixers and shit, and bitches can make money off a mixer. Now the Humaniplex, they pretty much they be throwing like mansion parties. So once your bitch get a jailbreak, you got to pay to get jailbroke, or somebody already on there can break her out. You know what I'm saying, when she do a posting. And you know, it's like a social website, but you post up in the classified and everything else. And so you can put your pictures up, make them private, and if a motherfucker really want to see, you want to make sure who they is, they had to pay to get up in there and have so many points, and then they got reviews, you know, because down in LA, man, let me tell you about down in Los Angeles, that whole LA, Orange County area. They be killing and cutting bitches up, dog. They be having, you know, the Black Dio, I can't say that girl name. Anyway, her motherfucking ass got killed down there. Ever since then, it's been people that's like copycats. You know, so they always cut a bitch up, put her in half, and then lay her on the concrete on the side. You know, I mean, like, no sense, you know, just bullshit. So Humaniplex actually helps people. It saves lives. So you ain't tried it? You ain't looked at it?
I took a peek at it. I'm not doing too much out west, but it's like, maybe I was rushing, but it's like crowded. You know what I mean? It's kind of confusing to use, but I guess once you get used to it, it's just like everything else. But you know, I really didn't have no need for it at the time. But somebody sent me a link for a couple days ago, telling me to look up something, and it seemed pretty active though.
Oh, okay.
All right. I got a couple of good topics that I had written down. I just pulled them up. All right. I think for those that were on KOP before, some of y'all might remember, but we talked about a topic like the influences of like having a parent that was in the game or a parent that was around. I think like with you trying to get your mom on deck and like your dad on deck, if your dad even do it, but like what influences do you think would have been different? I should ask, if you think your father wouldn't have been in the game, would you have chosen the same path or no?
Yeah.
Because I know some of us don't have a father, some of us, you know, don't have family at all.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess it's different for every person. But in your opinion, what would have been different about you if you would have had?
I still would have been in it. I still would have been in it because, you know, my uncles and, you know, on my mama's side, she had 9 brothers. You know what I'm saying? So she had a lot of brothers, a lot of cousins, and they was, you know, 6 pimps, 3 max. You know what I'm saying? So it still would have been in my blood. You know what I'm saying? It still would have been in my bloodline. And you know, a lot of people don't understand, like they really don't understand, like when if you meet a broad and she a hoe and she have a baby, you know, the pimping don't just come from your daddy, it come from your mama too, because it's the game. It's the game, it's the birth, it's the ism, it's the realism of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always just say ism, but it's the realism. You feel what I'm saying? So we just cut the real off real short and man, you know, and do it like that. But yeah, so I still would have been in it. I still would have been in it, you know, 100%. It wouldn't have changed. I mean, it probably would have changed my structure or the certain path that I took to get to it. You know what I'm saying? I probably been running the street a lot more than compared to him really being there. So yeah, you know, so I mean, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is, man. Shit. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to see if I can get my mammy on the phone. So.
All right, you're gonna have to hold it down for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go take care of something real quick.
All right. Hey, mom. On my radio show, it's about that time. I called you yesterday. You didn't want to talk because you were asleep. I know you're up now. It's 6 o'clock. I know it's 6 o'clock. Okay, you're live right now, so. Cause what?
I gotta get on my other phone because this one is beeping.
Oh, okay. Well, what, you want to call me back? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me turn this music down. I mean, cause I don't know if you get. Let me turn this music down, Mama. Hold on 1 second. I said, hold on. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Okay. All right, Mom. So now.
So what?
I'm picking up a lot of. Hold on. I'm picking up a lot of background noise. Oh, okay, that's still from the music. Okay, anyway, so I want to ask you a couple of questions about the game. I want to ask you a couple of questions about Uncle Willie, Uncle Robert, Uncle Eddie. I want to ask you a couple of questions about Daddy when he was doing his thing. You know, I know he probably don't want you talking and telling you none of that, but the game from back then to the game now. I mean, and I know every time I be at the house, y'all don't know what the game is about now, and you know, so.
Well, I think it's a lot different. As you guys say, the game stays the same. It's only the players that change, you know. But the game is the same. But in these times, it's a little different than it was back then.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it was more easy money. The living was much lesser, you know. So practice was much different than it is, you know, today. And I just don't think it's going on like it was back then today. You know, when I was coming up, when you seen pimps and prostitutes, when you seen a lady, I mean, she was off the hook. She had her hair, her wig was, you know, tight. She was dressed. You know, you always like, oh, you always knew. You know, I mean, that's when you seen them sharp at all times. The pimps, you know, they were sharp, riding in their Cadillacs. I mean, just everything was tough back then. Now you have bicycle pimps, tennis shoe pimps. You know, it's a whole big change. So what kind of questions you want to ask me?
Oh wait, Mama, you forgot the Chili Bowl Dennison pimping.
I can't hear you.
I said you forgot the Chili Bowl Dennison pimping.
Oh yeah, you know. Plus, you know, back in our times, drugs was going on, but it wasn't like it is now. Yeah. You know, you didn't have, you know, you have some prostitutes out there. That's all they're doing it for is just to get their stick. You know, now back in those times, it was totally different. So you have to ask me the questions that you want, you know, to know. You know, in my time, you seen a pimp coming down the street with, what can you say? Can you say anything, Kelly?
Uh-huh.
Can you say anything or certain words you can't say?
I mean, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna keep it real.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know. Can I say words or not? I don't know.
Like what? Cuss words and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, go ahead and cuss. I don't care. I mean,
no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, sir, I don't know, but
just go ahead and talk, man.
What
just
I'm saying, we used to be on a block. You could tell a pimp was coming by his car. You would run to go and see him when the hoes get out the car because it was all sharp and you just knew, and ask me the question because I don't know what.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the War Brothers.
Okay.
Let's talk about something that you know. Let's talk about the War Brothers, and then once we do that, we're gonna talk about Uncle Willie and about like his funeral, all the girls he had, and then I want to also talk about I forgot her name, the one that got the thing that happened.
Gloria?
Yeah, Gloria. Yeah. Matter of fact, wait. Tell the story about Gloria first, then we're gonna talk about the War Brothers.
Okay, well, Gloria was a real sweet girl. She was real dark skinned, had the prettiest smile. Just everybody that came in contact with her just loved her, and you never would have thought she would turn out to be that. I don't know who turned her out, but she did. And this one particular day, she had I think it was on a Sunday, and she said she had went to her sister's house, and she wasn't doing no prostitute stop. And while she was there, the guy kept going around the corner trying to make a date with her, but she kept saying, "No, I ain't working today." She said, but the offer was pretty good, so she got in the car with him, and they went to the motel. And she said, they got in the bed, took their clothes off, and then the weed, whatever it was, out in the car, let me go out and, get it. And so I guess he just put on his coat or what jacket or whatever it was. And she said when he came back in with a machete, and he just cut her all up. And when everybody, when you call and ask how a person doing, they would either say DOA, dead on arrival. They said she was dead on arrival. Her mother had a dream that one of her girls, years ago, before this happened, that one of her girls had died, but she wasn't dead. And when she went to the hospital and they told her Gloria had died, they had took Gloria down to the morgue. Well, they said, no, she's dead, so you don't need to go there. And she said, no, my daughter's not dead. So when they went down there and they, however they do, checked out or whatever, they found the pulse and they brought her back up. And she had a scar going from her neck all the way down. Well, they had to put all kind of wires and different stuff in her body, to get her going back again. But she lived some years after then. But got back into the life again, and with the heart being bad and different things like that, made it bad for her. But that's what happened to Gloria.
Okay. When I tell the people about that story, they be like, "Oh, for real? Oh, whatever." And then I'll be like,
"No, no, that's a true story."
Yeah. And I use that story personally for my hoes. I tell them the story, then I say the moral of the story is, bitch, always listen to your motherfucking pimp. When I say don't work. Because didn't Uncle Eddie say don't work? He told her don't work or something?
Well, he told her a lot of things, but Gloria, you do what you want to do. And I guess that's what she did, So that was basically what she did.
Okay. All right, Mama. Somebody in the chat room want to know about reckless eyeballing and out of pocket rules. I want to add to that, hiding money.
Huh?
Like when a female down there and she looked at a pimp, and she was on the track and she looked at a pimp, reckless eyeballing. Like what would happen?
Back then?
Yeah, back then.
Oh no, wasn't none of that.
Yeah.
See, wasn't none of that eyeballing. See, they had what they called choosers night, where the pimp come with his hoes, all the pimp, they be dressed tough. Okay, every Tuesday night, and they had choosers night. So it wasn't no thing back then. Hey, if your lady wanted to go, choose another dude, then fine. You know, just go to another table and that was it. But you got to remember, too, back then that, you know, with my brother, the way he did was he had his main woman. And that main woman was watching those women, his hoes, for him. You know, so everybody, every pimp has their main woman. And they recruit. You know, they'll slide over and talk to your woman. Hey, come on over here with me. You know, over here with us. Hey, this pimp here, he going to do this and he do that and he don't do this. And, hey, you can, whatever. They recruiting her for they pimp. But it wasn't no eyeballing and all, no.
Okay.
No, now what happened with that? That brought in a lot of disagreement, a lot of fighting, and it made it bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it made it bad because then you stepped over the line because, okay, I'm choosing now, here we are. Okay, now you can choose to go with any pimp you want to go with or whatever. Why you got to wait and, you know, get out there and do the eyeballing? Now, you know, you had some of them pimps would, you know, would do you in. So, no, you know, you play by the rules.
Okay. So, let me just get this out the way. So, out there in Oakland, in the Bay Area, pimps would kill their hoes or really seriously hurt them.
No, I didn't say. Well, now, I don't know anything about killing them.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. You know, back then, I know if you got, in other words, if I'm being fair with you, I'm going to take another nigga. And you can choose on this night. Why you want to play me on another night? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, so it wasn't none of that going on.
Is that Daddy back there talking?
That's him talking.
Wow.
You know, now she would, you know, they would jump on him. But as far as like the killing and all like that, I don't know anything about killing.
I know. I'm just saying to clarify that. Just to clarify that.
I
said, okay. Now, I know you might get in trouble by talking about this about the Ward brothers.
By who?
By Daddy.
Oh. Huh? What do you mean? Trouble.
That Daddy right there.
I'm like you guys now, okay? I'm keeping it real. Now, you asked me a question, and I'm going to tell you just how it was and how I felt back then. Because, you know, a lot of this time coming in that I wasn't with your daddy during that time. So some of the things I'm saying and how I felt, you know, how I felt about the Ward brothers, I wasn't, you know, your daddy was out there doing his own gigoloing.
You always say that. You always say that.
What? He was gigoloing.
Well, you always say that.
He said, "Oh, women."
But you always say that though.
Yeah. So what? What's the next question?
Talk about the Ward brothers.
What about them?
Just talk about them. I mean, you know.
Well, they was out of L.A. And when it got on the streets that the Ward brothers was coming to town, woo! You know, everybody was about to do this because, see, when the Ward brothers came in, they came down to, it was a California hotel and the Zanzibar. And they would come down there, and all the girls would be like, oh, the Ward brothers, because they was fine. You know, they was. And they was well known. It was just the word spread around, the Ward brothers coming down, and when they came down with their women. You know, and other women was looking at them. They was off the hook, Kelly. You know. Yeah, I know. You know, yeah. They said they got one left now. But, that was a real competition, you know, with the Oakland, LA, you know, by them being real cute. You know, there was always that little competition thing. But still, they came down.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about Uncle Willie. Since, you know, he was the best, you know, the pimp, and Uncle Robert was the best Mac. I mean, how he did his stuff was... he did his stuff. About Uncle Willie, let's talk about from when you start seeing him doing stuff and he brought the girls to the house and stuff, how he used to have you search girls and just all the way up until like his death until the funeral. Just talk about him.
Well, I mean, you have to ask me questions because it was so much. I mean, it was like, like I say back then, when you see Willie coming, he had his Cadillac, and his women, and he was a high sider. He always was sharp, and everybody would run up to the car to see the women get out, looking tough with their hair red. See, we wasn't allowed to dye our hair back in the day. If we dyed our hair red, that was a sign that you was a streetwalker. So that was amazing to us to see the women with their hair red and everything,
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wanted to see the women, and he would bring them to the house. He had his main home, and he would bring them and sit around and, they could drink as long as they were sociable, no loudness or nothing. She didn't allow that, but if you could drink and, and handle it, it was okay. And I would sit around and I would hear him talk to him and, his main woman, and then he would tell me, like he came one night, he was really mad at one of them. Because, back then, the women, what they would do, some of the women had pickaninny hair. And so they would take their money and ball it up and stick it in their little hair and put their wig on. See, wigs was real stylish back then. And not only that, which I didn't know, I found out that they was hiding their money in other places. And so when my brother told me, "Gal, go on in there in the bathroom with her and get my money," well, I'm thinking I'm going to go in the bathroom and she going to hand me the money. I'm waiting on the money. But then she cocked her legs up on the toilet and go other places and pull it out and then want to give it to her. Wait just a minute. Where that come from? Okay? So I had to get some toilet tissue, because they actually put it in places like, what? But he knew he couldn't jump on her in Rose house. He knew that. So, and she was hiding money and had a whole lot of it. And so what's the next question, John?
Okay, okay, well, let's talk about like how many girls he done had, and what was his name that they called him out there on the street?
Well, his name was Willie. Some call him Will, some call him Bill. But it was mostly even some of them called him Ballard. Everybody knew what he was doing, because there was other pimps out there, and he had a lot of women. Different ones that would, but his main woman he had, she was the one that thought him and her was going to run off after they made it big off the other women, that, they was going to run off and it was just going to be them too, but he always had a woman, like I say, to watch his women, and I don't really know I guess they did know that that's what he was doing. He would be so slick with it, if they were sitting around. If they got out of line or said something wrong and he wasn't in the room or whatever, then his main one would let him know that, hey, she's talking this, or she's talking about leaving, or she's talking about this and talking about, that. Then he would put her in check. He would straighten her out. So what else?
Okay, what about the importance of respect back then?
Okay. See, the way you guys have respect now, and this is you guys' time, I can understand that. In our time, you had to give respect to get respect. So you were more to be respected, and we respected people. So we were on a whole different type of level than now. So we want to respect, and if you respected us, we respect you. And that's where the respect came in the game, was that, okay, I'm going to give you the respect that you my hoe. Okay? Now, I don't have to worry about you trying to run off with another pimp or sliding this way and that way. Because every Tuesday when you look tough, we all look tough and go to choose night, the respect come in that, hey, now you able to walk over there to that pimp if that's who you want, and nothing be done to you. See what I'm saying? That's why it was choose night. But they're trying to sneak over, and trying to, go over here on the sixth side and all that. That causes confusion. That's where the pimps have respect for each other on that level. And that's what... that's where it was respected right there. That's why it was choose night. So that's where the respect was.
Okay.
And of course, a whole lot of them broke the rules, and they got their butt whooped.
Okay. See, I'm going to end up putting Daddy on the phone if he keep talking, because
Yeah, he's just basically saying the same thing.
I know.
That I'm saying, because that's disrespecting. In other words, from one pimp to another. Okay. When choose night come and she decides to go over there to that guy, you don't have no animosity toward him, because that's what you there for. You bringing your hoes there, he bringing his, the next guy bringing his, and that's what you guys are there for. So that's respect toward the game.
Right.
So that's where the respect came in.
Okay.
So if she chose to go over there, you brought her, to choose.
Right.
So you wouldn't lose respect for the dude because she decided to go over there with him.
Okay, so when do you think the game took a nosedive? When it started to lose its finesse?
I think it started to lose when there was more drugs and selling of drugs, and women getting on drugs and selling their bodies. Becoming okay. One time I pulled over to Rose and I went in and this girl came up to the car. I seen her come up to the car, but I figured she was asking for a cigarette or something. So when I came out, I said, "What does she want?" Well, Louis said when she first came up there, what did she start off with? I think she asked you $2 for a blowjob, wasn't it? $2. Well, it never was. What? He said before she left it was 35 cents. So that brings the game down right there, because guys are selling what they figure. Hey man, I know that broad over there, man. You give her 25 cents. And boom, there it goes. Okay. So it starts.
Okay. No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, well, go ahead. You can move on to the next question.
No. I mean, no. Go on and say it. Finish.
No, I was finished, but I think that's what kind of did it, more younger girl. When I was coming up, when my brother, when they was pimping and everything, well, it wasn't no such thing as wearing low cuts. There was a lot of respect with people's parents that they wouldn't let you. You could not go out the house looking like that. So a man wouldn't look at you in that way, because a lot of stuff was, everything was covered up. So now you have young girls, and they have pretty shapes, and some of them go the other way, and it makes it bad. The younger generation, how things are going, and the drugs have changed the game.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Would you think that the pimps of the day, of your time, will you think they make it this time, this day and age?
No.
So you don't think back in the day, them pimps back in the day would make it right now?
No, they couldn't make it. For one thing, because like I said, there's too many police. We didn't have that many police back then. We didn't have young kids hanging out on the corner. We didn't have young kids trying to sell drugs to make a living. That wasn't going on. Plus, there was 10 and 2. Who could make it off of that now?
Okay, well, explain what a 10 and 2 is.
A 10 and 2 is $2 for the room and $10 for the sex. Where you going to get a room for $2 now? I mean, you can't. The economy was just. I'm talking about back then, Kelly, when a pack of cigarettes was 35 cents. 25 to 35. So you can't. The economy is too high. There's too many young people. See, what the difference is? When my brother's in was pimping, we had a curfew. Okay? You had a curfew. You had to be in the house. You didn't go on every block and see guys hanging at the liquor store. Now, you might have seen older drunks. Maybe standing beside the wall, kind of drunk or whatever. But you couldn't go on every corner and see guys hanging out drinking. Now, you would see guys singing. But when it, started getting dark, You didn't see that on every corner. That didn't go on.
Okay.
So the streets was more bad than it is now. But, you know, wasn't a lot of police patrolling. And the police didn't stop Willie all the time. They seen him because, you know, he had some white girls. They didn't pull him over, and he had a Cadillac. He had his hair processed. You know, the whole thing. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't going to jail for no pimping and pandering or having a girl underage, you know, out there hoeing and all that. That wasn't going on. It was a slower time. You guys are in a fast-paced world now where everything moves fast, you know, and the money's quick and costs much more.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well,
the pimps could not make it.
Okay, well, what about the hoes? What do you think about, would the hoes back then of yesterday make it today?
Kelly.
I think it probably.
HOIN always gonna be in business.
Okay, well, I know that.
Okay.
You know,
if you're a woman, as Bobby Blair used to say, you'd be a millionaire. And he was talking to a woman, and he ain't never lied about that. HOIN will never go out of business because there's different type of hoes. Okay. There's all kinds. Never go out of business. Now, yeah, I think, like I said, because it's a continuous thing. So yeah, I think a hoe could have made it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. What about? Well, I think you already covered that. The preparation, you know, of his girls. You know, she getting everything. Get on that. Get on that. Like when she, like when a pimp get. I mean, when a hoe get with a pimp, how he got off welfare and all that. Can you touch on that subject?
Well, you know, my brothers them used to say, if you could talk out the side of your mouth, you know, that you can pull, you know, you can pull any woman, and that's what they used to say, talking out the side of their mouth. You know, no, it don't. I didn't say it did. I said that that's what they used to say. You know, and that's not your mouth being twisted. In other words, they're saying if you had a good enough game,
right.
then you can pull them. My brother, what he used to do is, you know, get the understanding with a woman, you know, with his hoe, lay his rules down. That was his rules. She knew the rules, and he didn't take his hoes around other pimps only on choose night. You don't do that. You know, not unless, you know, he had a party, you know, and he invited some of them or whatever before it's hanging. They didn't do that back then. He used to keep them in control because he would take them, he would buy for them, kept them pretty, kept everything up and all, and he just took care of them and was nice to them. And basically, that's what he did. I mean, that was the way he, you know, but still, like I said, he had his main lady to keep them in check. Okay. And plus, if she brought somebody into, they call them stables. Okay, your girls, you call them stables. If she went out and recruited somebody and brought them into the stable, okay, now, he had to try her to see. He tried all his hoes. Because he know whichever one he thinks is the best. If he want to send her or somebody say, he want to know which one he thinks is the best. So he tries them. And 9 times out of 10, they really like him. But he kept his feelings kind of pushed away because they came and they went. He had one, she had to go home because her twins were sick, so he lost that one, you know. But he was always recruiting.
Okay, now wait. Explain trying. So explain that. Just
clarify. Trying what?
When you said he would try him.
Oh, sex.
To see who the best one. Okay, so he would have sex with the girls to see who was the best one.
Right.
Okay, can you explain why he would do that?
Well, yeah, because he may take them somewhere. And he might be sitting talking to a guy, and the guy might ask him, hey, you know, I want to, you know, them your women, hey, I want to date tonight, man, you know. And he say, you know what, man, you know what, hey, if the guy tell him what he wants, he know which one of his women to do what and which one won't do what. and which one it don't bother to do, certain things. He knew that. So then he called whichever one over, here she is,
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Okay. I just clarify because, I know, but I'm just, some people might not know. So,
right.
Yeah.
There was no aid.
Right.
Then now, there was no aid.
Right.
And it wasn't none of that going around, so you didn't have that to even think about across your mind. The only thing you had to think about was, catching, venereal disease,
mm-hmm.
And then you go get a penicillin shot and knock that out. But for something like AIDS, that wasn't even thought about, You didn't have to even worry about nothing like that back then. So it was more easy for him, to go ahead and do that. Now, the main woman, the woman that she thought he was in love with, she understood that all what he was doing, that was business, because you're the main one. And when we make enough money that we gonna have, then it's gonna be me and you. Now that's how my brother operated. Now how the other ones, how they operated, I don't know.
Okay, all right. Now, what year is this? This is what year? This is a 50s, 60s, 70s. So we.
Let's go back. Okay, I was in junior high school. So, you got to go back to the 60s.
Okay, I just want to clarify the time period.
Yeah, the 60s.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want you to finish explaining with him and up into his passing, like the funeral, like his females. How did he, did he still keep in touch and all that? Could you explain that?
Well, he did, because he was always, his hoes or whatever, they was always friends, even as time, because there was times he went to jail. Okay, but he didn't go to jail for, no pimping or nothing like that.
Right.
There was times that he went to jail, so when he went to jail, when he come back out, then he got to build his stable back up. So some of those girls he lost, and he would have to build it back up. But when he see them, it wouldn't be no animosity. It's just he went to jail and they went, somewhere else. But now, they wouldn't go anyplace until after they seen they couldn't bail him out of jail. Because if he went to jail, they was there to get him out.
Right.
But if he had like a parole home, where he couldn't be bailed out and he had to do some time, well then, they naturally, the hoes, they move on.
Right.
And, he kept it going. That was his life. It was just women, putting them out there on the street. He made good money. He would come in with his money, throw it on the table. It was just totally different, and...
Okay. Well, explain. What about his funeral? Because I wasn't there. I was in jail. So.
Well, at his funeral, there was Kathy, which she not Steve. She passed.
Mm-hmm.
There was Paulette. He married Paulette. He married her when I was a teenager. Now he married her, and there was some there that he met in in the later years, that when he changed his life he wasn't doing that, some of the women, but he had it was 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was 4 there that came to his funeral.
So 4 from when he was just hardcore, and then
right.
The other ladies just from going throughout his life.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And he, he's always been a hustler. He's always, they used to call him, because he had a pretty smile, they used to call him, the man with the $1 million smile.
Right.
And then he high-sided, and that was just his life. But the thing of it is that it kind of messed with my mind because, by my father being a preacher, and I'm having to go to church, and couldn't wait to get out of church, and hoping that they were still at the house when we got out of church, so I could see see all the happenings and, all of that, it made it just kind of hard for me because going to church, seeing my brothers pimp, and bring their hoes and everything, it was like, wow. That was the life to me. Boy, they partying down. They doing this, And every time you turn around, he had an apartment and he was throwing a party at the penthouse. So it was kind of strange growing up under that. Those two different things, church, then coming back home and then talking a different language. They talking a different language. That was just kind of strange to me.
Okay. Now, what about Uncle Robert and him macking and being a boss player towards the end? All the stuff that he did. How he was getting his money from the different women and stuff like that.
I think basically Robert, he had a couple out there because he was trying to be like Willie. But Robert, he dealt with his more with women that would just give him money. Like on the first, when they got their checks or whatever. So I guess he would be considered a young gigolo. So I think he was more of a young gigolo.
Okay, because y'all got y'all, the gigoloing and macking of nowadays is, two different things. Like back then, it was popular. Oh, I'm, to say gigolo. Nowadays, it's like, ooh, gigolo, ooh, I mean.
But see, do you really know what a gigolo is?
Yeah, I know.
There's a difference. Okay, I can't say. Well, maybe Mac. Say Robert was macking because a gigolo will go to bars and sit and have a drink, and the women will come to his, especially older women, there and kind of become known, have a drink, and all like that. So Robert basically didn't do that. So I guess you would say, maybe he was macking. Okay. I guess he was macking. Eddie tried it, but Eddie stayed in jail a lot, and that would cause him to, always have to try to rebuild up again every time he come out, and, that was his problem, whereas Willie kept a mainstream. Willie kept his just mainstream, with the penthouse apartment, throwing the parties. The cake, his cake had to be made with $100 bill on the top of it, He said at one time he had all white women. He said he didn't want nothing black but a Cadillac. And it had to have white walls. So he was really the hardcore. He was the hardcore.
Okay. Let's see. What about I want to talk about Uncle Eddie, but I really don't. I don't want to bring no pain up, because I wanted to bring up the situation of how a devious a woman is.
Situation with him.
Yeah, his demise. So.
Yeah, he none of them made any money or did anything like Willie did. Willie was the one that made the big money out of, being a pimp. Because like I said, he was mainstream. He was the one that had it all. He had the car. He had the apartment. He had, at one time, he had 7 or 8 women, and really was talent, had it together. And like I said, with Eddie, he would have it, but then he would go to jail and go back up, so, but Willie his was just, he kept his going, just flowing.
Right.
So, yeah, so he would be the one mainly that had really everything. And I think Eddie, and Robert, because Willie was the oldest, wanted to be like him, make it in that pimping, situation.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. There was a couple more questions I was going to ask you, but I want to try to get Daddy on the phone. I know how Daddy is. I'm just going to ask him, choose night. So, see if you can get Daddy on the phone. I know how he is.
Kelly said, will you tell him about choose night and the California hotel down in Lewis? Well, no. That's where the Ward brothers came in. That's, Yeah.
Just tell him I'm on the air. He ain't got to say.
He he on the air on this little radio station. So will you tell him about it?
Yeah, I just want him to talk. I know how Daddy is. He don't talk. So
all right, well here he comes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday night for the Pimpin players and the O's was on Telegraph, the showcase. You come in and you sit at the table, and the ballads used to be the singing group at the time, sang 2 or 3 songs. Then at 12 o'clock, the bell would ring, and they would say, ladies and players, it's Tuesday. And that's when the hoes would get up and walk from table to table. My table always stayed full.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
So, but that's what it was. That was Tuesday. If you treated your lady right, she wouldn't leave. If you put your lady's money up, she wouldn't leave. But if you Tuesday night, she was out of your stall. You wasn't gonna beat her no more. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but if you say half yours, half mine, I'm putting your half up. Because a lady lay down, she makes the money. You didn't do nothing but watch the back. So if you put money up for her, now if she left you on Tuesday night, that money you put up for her, you didn't get. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So say like she got $3,000 of her money in case she gets sick, she got to go out of town or whatever she got to do. Or if she just want to buy something of her own, she got money to do it. But if she left your stall, that money remains yours. She got nothing but her clothes. And that's just the clothes that you have on her back. So that was Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night was Tuesday night, 12 o'clock.
Down the Telegraph.
And after they choose, some pimps, they play, their table would be empty. I mean, not one hoe. They come in there with 2 or 3 and leave with nothing. And they would leave before the bell rang again. Because it wouldn't be no more. Once the hoes all done left, he might not have no car or whatever. Or he might have an old car. And once they left his stall, once the bell rings, ain't no more. Hey, that's my home. Get back over here. It didn't work that way. There wasn't no fighting, shooting, cutting nobody up. All he could do was get out there, try to catch him somebody else. And if she walked away from him too, he just had to get out the game and go to work. So that's the way it was. But now, Gigolo was my main thing. I played the Claremont Hotel up in the hills. All those rich old ladies would come from New York, Chicago, Miami. Always wanted to mess with a young black man. Well, I would be clean. I'd buy me a drink and sit at the bar and smile at them, give them the eye. They take me up to their room, and when things were over, they paid me. You understand? Mm-hmm. I gigolo. They would pay me. We call, rent a car, hire a cab. We'd go to Frisco. We'd go everywhere. They got this young pretty boy on their process.
No. What year was this?
What year was this? Mm-hmm. This was in the 60s.
I'm saying what year? I'm just saying what year. That's all I said. Okay,
yeah, this was before I met your mother. This was in the 60s when I got out the army.
Okay,
that was playing the ladies and playing them old ladies mainly. Because you got women that came all from over the world, but the most famous hotel was around here was the Claremont Hotel, back up in the Berkeley Hill.
Yeah, it still is. Yeah,
it's still famous. Yeah. And I used to go up there, and they used to rent limousines and stuff, and we'd go out and eat and dance. And these women was old enough to be 2 of my mother. But they paid me. A lot of them, it wasn't about sex. A lot of them, they paid just to be look good on their own. And that was it. New York, Miami, wherever they come from, they had a picture of this pretty boy on their arm. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they paid. And they came back and back and back and back. I kept, and when I started going with your mother, I had so much money coming in, I started changing car upon car upon car. So her mother wouldn't know Rose wouldn't know what kind of car I'm driving.
Yeah.
I went from Cadillac to Pontiac to Chrysler. I was just switching cars like water.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody got a question that
Okay.
about the serving. Like if somebody called you or got in contact with you about a hooker that that knocked you, like might have knocked you for a female. What was the procedure that they used to do back then, other than choose night?
What if someone took your lady?
No, if somebody got, she went and left instead on choose night, she went and left with somebody, and the guy get in contact with you, and like saying like, hey, I got your bitch. Hey, what's up?
Oh no, he was dealt with.
Okay.
No, we dealt with that. It wasn't like when they found that sucker, he was so fucked up to where he couldn't walk the next day. He couldn't walk the next 6 months. You don't just take nobody's lady like that. Either you do it on choose night, but you don't get nobody's lady until he call you and tell you I got your bitch. That didn't happen. Because that nigga probably might not never walk again in his life.
Okay.
So broke kneecap, broke back, broke legs, but it wasn't about they didn't take your lady. That wasn't even in the game. You didn't have people doing that.
Okay.
And people didn't rob no prostitute either.
Okay.
See, back then, everything was on the straight and up and up. There was no guns, no cutting nobody up, none of this.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. All right. So, how? Let's see. I was going to ask a question, and it just left me. I can't even remember. I got brain dreamage. I can't remember it. But all right, Dad. Thank you for talking, sharing your story. You got any war stories? No, never mind. You ain't.
Actually, I have the most stories.
You have to ask you a question, and if I can answer it, I'll go.
All right, Dad. All right, tell mom I love her, and I'll probably call you tomorrow or something.
All right.
All right, Dad. Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, everybody. Well, that was my mama and my daddy. So, the gigolo shit be killing me because I'll be like, But anyway, so there you have it. You see how the game was back in the day. Now, my daddy told me certain things how it used to be, and you can kind of hear you can kind of hear the caliber nigga that I am when I be spitting and be talking, because I'm saying my game is just is I mean, hey, but now you can kind of see how the game changed from way back then to now. Even when I got in it, the game wasn't even like how my dad. It was pick up, excuse me, if a nigga got your bitch, you getting served. That's it. That's that. So that just show you how far the game changed. But you can still hear that they had women on their side. Motherfucking niggas was getting money. So if a bitch was playing, then hey. So I mean, it is what it is. So but let me see if I can try to get Chase back on the phone. I don't know if he.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Okay. Well, nope. But anyway, so I hope he answered. I hope they answered some of the questions or some of the stuff that was on the head. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody got some questions or something, answer, just go ahead and type it up. If you got a Skype, go on and hit me up, King Kelly O, and put you on the horn, put you on the line. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if I can get this bro. Let me see if I can. Let me call Gangsta Brown. Let me see if he can answer. Let me see. Gangsta Brown, how you doing? It's Kelly up.
I'm trying to figure out when I'm on your site, your Pimpin 101. You got Pimpin 101, you got everybody DVD on there with me, and I'm trying to figure what's up with that.
Page. You have a whole page. I just moved you because I had to make space. I got the radio show. I'm calling you. I'm on the radio show right now. I was calling to see if I could get a little interview, you know, put it on the airwaves, but I will show you how to get to it. So, if it's possible, could I get an interview a little lightweight?
Yeah, come on. You know, I'll knock you out the way. I'm on my way to a concert. What's happening with it?
Okay, all right.
The name of your radio?
It's Pimpin Radio, you know.
Okay. Well, let's pimp.
Yeah, for everybody that don't know, this is the world's famous pimp, Gangsta Brown. You know, one of my either god brothers or godfather, you know, stepdad, somebody shit. He in the bloodline. That's all I can tell you. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, if you guys got questions or whatever, you know, go ahead and type it up. You dig what I'm saying? Why don't you let us know about the famous hooker you had that made, you know, that really put it out there on the map, and people still talking about it to this day.
Oh yeah, well, you know, that's the number one thing that ever happened in the game for something large that received that much money at one time. That's gonna be hard for those that's trying to be in it to match that. Good luck. But you know what happened on that situation. You know, my best friend is here, Mr. Grant, Mr. Vine Brown. You know what I'm saying? My perfect loved one. You feel what I'm saying? And I give her credit, because, you know, that alcohol ain't nothing to play with. Alcohol is something that, you know, I'm very wholly against. But, you know, I guess when you got that much money, $1.6 million, I guess it's hard not to have a drink.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you this. When you was coming up in the game, when you first got turned out, and you knew the rules, was it like any bumping, like you bumped your head a couple of times, you stumbled or anything, or was it, you know, or was it somebody there that just showed you what to do, like, hey, come here, let me show you, you need to do it this way?
No, well, let me correct that. Females are turned out. You turn a female out, you can't turn a man out. It got to be any, first of all. So when you share the knowledge with him, if he think this is the lifestyle he want to try to live, you'll find out in due time if it's any. Because it's very, very difficult, very, very hard. But see, what people don't understand, I say it every day, so I'm writing a book right now that'll be ready very, very shortly. Like I just explained to a friend of mine just 32 seconds ago. What people don't understand is the rules of the game. It's 101 rules that tells you what to do. Be in this game successfully, because you're going to have a whole lot of bumps if you don't know the rules. You have to follow the rules of the game. Learn the rules of the game. Now, where you're going to get the rules from, it's going to be your hard choice of decision to try to figure out who you have that was shared with you and teach it to you and tell you what to do and what not to do. But people don't understand the 101 rules of the game tells you yes and no, and every now and then they have a maybe so. So a lot of these guys that come into the game try to make up their own rules. It don't work. You can add to the rules once you learn the rules. You have to learn them. There's 101 rules from the Pimp Penal Code book. Simple as that. So if you don't know these rules, believe me, and the 5 major things will happen to you will be penitentiary, death. Somebody will cut your head off, or you will go through some kind of serious that you wish you ain't never thought about even being in the game. It's not as easy as you think it is. There's nothing to play with. Sounds good, look good, but hey, somebody better teach you something, because I can promise you, guaranteed, you will be headed for self-destruction if you do not know what you're doing. It's not middle. It's about the end. How are you going to be if you even last 10 years from this day? Believe that. If you need to look me up, go to Gangsta Brown, www.gangsta, gangsterbrown.com. If you want to learn more about who I am, Google me. Go to my MySpace, Gangsta Brown is what it is. Go to my YouTube, Gangsta Brown 510. Check it out. Yeah, I'm one of the longest living legends of this here. Straight ahead. Never been to the penitentiary, never been on drugs, never been shot, never been knocked out. You understand what I'm saying? I follow the rules. It's all about the money. Not the honey, the money. First, ass last. If you a freak and you got a freaky girl, you might can make it because both of y'all, that's what y'all have to do. But if you're into the knowledge of the game and want to make progress and go to higher grounds, you better sharpen your hand up, brother. Because if a female believe one thing, will always be sharper than a man if he ain't studying what he's supposed to be about, studying what he's supposed to know. She will pass you gang-wise, and you will wonder why you can't hold her. You'll wonder why you're being disrespected. You'll wonder why she's doing all the things that she's doing because you talk one way, and when you start violating the rules and start telling all that honey bunny, I love you, baby, me and you, and I'm going to marry you, and doing things with your mouth and your funny tongue that you shouldn't be doing, sucker, you headed for self-destruction.
Yeah.